Okay guys, today this is day 2. I can compare and order fractions, decimals, and mixed numbers in a given set from least to greatest and greatest to least. So today what we've done is we have given you a more challenging list. And so here's our list today. We have 1.5, 9/8, 1 6/8, and 1 2/10. And we're going to have you order that from greatest to least. So if you want to pause the video and try it yourself first, you may do that, or you can watch us try and solve, and we'll do it first for you.
All right, so we're going to go and first convert these to decimals. Okay, so we have some challenges here, and we have some that are already kind of done for us. So let's just start left and go to right. All right, so I know that 1 1/2 is the same thing as 1 is my whole number, and then 1/2 I know the decimal is 1.5. So this one, pretty easy. 9/8, we need to recognize that. That's an improper fraction. And our denominator or numerator is larger than our denominator. So for this, we actually have to divide. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, how many 8s can go into 9? Well, it's 1. 1 times 8 is 8. I'm going to subtract. I'll get a 1. So this would convert to 1 1/8. Okay? And so 1 1/8, I know, is 1.125 because I know that 1/8 is 125 thousandths. So I have that memorized. Okay, now 1 6/8. Now this one, I have this 1. I know it's 1 point something. So the 6/8, I could sit here and divide this out. I could take 1/8 and multiply that times 6. Or I could simplify this. And I think I'm going to choose to do that. All right, so what are my factors of 6? I know that 2 times 3 gets me 6. And I know 1 times 6 gets me 6. All right, let me go to 8. So I know 2 times 4, and I know 1 times 8. And the largest number that they have in common, that greatest common factor, it looks like is going to be, not 3. It looks like it's going to be 2. So I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 2. And I should get 3/4. Now 3/4, I know that one. That's going to be 3/4. That's going to be 75 hundredths. So now I have 1.75. Great. And then the last one's already done for us, and that's going to be 1.2. So if you remember from yesterday, the strategy that we used is we lined up our decimals. So I'm going to come over here. Let's see. So I have 1.5, 1.125, 1.75, and then I have 1.2. And I like to kind of put the zeros in here just in case, just so I don't get confused and everybody's in the same place. All right. So now I'm going greatest to least, and we have to remember that because lots of times we always want to do least to greatest. But this is greatest to least, so I'm looking for my largest number first. So if I start over here in my ones place, they're all the same. So now I have to come to my next place, which is going to be my tenths. All right, so the largest number I see here looks like that's 7. So that's going to be 1.750. So 1.75. So that's going to be my 1 6/8. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that off. Now I'm done with it. Now I'm going to look at my next largest number. It's going to be 1.5, which if I remember is 1 1/2. So that's going to be next. Okay. And then next up looks like it's going to be 1.2 because that 2 is larger than my 1. And then I have my 1.125, which is my 9/8. So this is an order from greatest to least just by converting them to decimals. All right.